So William, tell us what happened today at 2:30.
I passed. I got the congratulations after the test. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. It's a big relief, huh?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's a lot of weight. Like I told you, that test is hard. That test is really, really difficult. My first section, the doubt set in. Like after question about 6, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna finish all of this on time. There's no way I can do 180 questions in the time frame. And the first 60 actually took me 90 minutes. So the second section, I took my break, I came back, and I was like, okay, this can't take more than 70 minutes. And so it took me 60. And that was with the review and everything. And it seemed easier when I got to the second section. But what I think happened, I had a flow. I was just knocking them out. I had a flow stuff. I wasn't second guessing so much, and I was comfortable with my answers, and I was knocking it out. And so on the third, I just flew through it and got done with, I think after I checked everything, a minute and a half. I was kind of
Wow.
surprised I didn't get done faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that first section, it got real.
Yeah, it seems like, when Scott talks about building momentum, it feels like you did finally get to that point where you started building that momentum. It just took you that first 60, which he talks about, powering through.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, because I was second guessing a bunch of stuff, and it for some reason to me it seemed harder. The first section seemed way harder, but it was just a mental thing. Because by the time I got to the third section, I was like, here it is. It's easy now. This is where it's supposed to be. It's easy. I was like, this makes sense. I started catching things and I started seeing the little hints they give you in the question. I was like, okay, I know the exact answers now. It's not so much of a guess. It's not a 50-50. I was knocking it out. And so funny enough, I got the email and checked my score. I'm above target on all 3 areas too. So that's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So what's
Cool.
some recommendations or maybe some things that you maybe realized during your process of getting there, and any tips and tricks you can give to the students that'll be joining and anybody listening?
Um, Scott's flow video. I watched it. So 2 weeks ago, one of the guys that passed mentioned that he watched that video 4 times. And I was like, you got to be insane. There's no way. I actually went and watched it about 4 times and I caught things every single time. Like that just made it easier. Like the big aha happened like right before I took the test. I knew the whole chart. Like I could
Yeah.
see all of it. It could expand out. I could just about guess itos and I could see everything and it made sense to me.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew I was ready to take the test. This is when that all started to make sense.
Yeah.
So the flow video for sure.
The 7 flows, correct? You're talking about the 7 flows?
Yeah. Where he goes, it's like an hour long, but he goes through the most important stuff.
Yes.
That flow video is brilliant.
Yes.
It helps so much on that test. It helps so much to know that flow, to know where you need to be, because a lot of it is just, a lot of what I noticed on that test is just mapping. Where are you right now? Where do you need to be? Don't skip steps. Where do you actually need to be? Or what should you have done? It's all mapping. It's like, go back, stay here, go forward. What should you be doing? And that's the whole test. And so Scott drills that. So it made it really easy because I expected that. I expected long, drawn out questions. And it took a while, to like get that momentum because it's so long. They're long. They're 3 and 4 questions or sentences long. And it's like, okay, what am I picking apart? What do I actually need? What is in here that's just complete nonsense? And they do that. There is stuff in there that's just nonsense.
Yeah.
Another thing I would say do is I had at least a half dozen of pick 2. Another 3 or 4 of pick 3. And another thing that took longer. So I think if I'd have expected it, I would have been more prepared for it. The slide questions. So the ones where you line them up, like it'll give you 6 things. They don't make that easy. They're more scenarios. They're like whole paragraphs. Like, this is what's going on. It's not, so you avoided this. It's not so you can pick that. Like the risk strategy thing was so interesting to me because they didn't give you a good answer. They gave you summaries of what happened or what could happen, and you have to line them up. That was really difficult. Like it took me like probably 2 minutes to do that question. And it was just moving stuff over because you got to read it all. You got to pick through and get the tips out of it. But that was interesting. And I wish I'd have been more prepared to do that. I would have timed it better, or at least figured out what they were asking for, because I had no idea. You know, it was, and the thing is, they're easy. Once you read it all and everything, it's not like it wasn't rocket science. It was stuff you know. You're gonna know it. It's just and that's what taking the time.
Yeah, it's just, you know, that's what we do, right? We learn how to decode those questions that really prepare you to sit and be able to pull out, like you said, keywords, or hey, this is minutia, I don't need any of that stuff. So did you take it on site, or did you take it remotely?
I took it right here.
And how did that go for you?
So the scrutiny really didn't bother me. So they watch you, but they don't say anything. I coughed maybe once. I was really careful about not touching my face. That's not an actual thing, at least not with my proctor. I don't know. I didn't read a single question out loud because I heard horror stories of you getting kicked out of your exam for that. And so I'd studied that with my practice exams. I had practiced how I was going to take the test. I even took the 10-minute breaks and then took another 60, 10-minute break, take another 60, just so, and that really helped me with a structure to know I needed to take those 10-minute breaks, because I can't look at 180 questions for 4 hours straight, 3 hours, whatever. Like I've heard people do it. I just can't. I can't focus that long. I need to like rest my eyes. I wear glasses. I'm looking at the monitors. I had to get up. I did some push-ups, got the blood flowing, drank a Red Bull. You know, I walked outside, waved at some kids. I tried to tone down and just relax for those 10 minutes. And it's golden that you take that and like just decompress, because like I said, like I won't hold you. That's a hard test. So, you know, I think every little thing you can do helps out with it. Mine wasn't 60% agile. I did notice that I had a lot of waterfall. So I think that's a mixed bag thing. I don't think I was expecting like 80% agile. No, indeed. There was a lot of plan. What do you need this for? Or what's in this plan? Or what process group were you in? They don't tell you. You just have to know where you are and then figure out what the outcome should be, what you should be doing because of where you are. Because they don't actually, it was rare that they told me where I was. They were more, I got more of them telling me what process group. You're in initiating, you're in executing, but never like what actual process group or what knowledge area, what I was doing. It was very interesting. You had to figure that part out. But like, even if they told you were in executing, it's like, okay, so what part? What am I dealing with? Am I dealing with risk? Am I dealing with quality? You know, and then work from there. So yeah, once you get a flow, it's not that bad. It's just, I would say definitely pay attention to that flow video and his video on how to manage your time, because I went with 70 and that obviously didn't work for me. It ended up being 90, 60, 70 because the first section overwhelmed me and I took too long. And so the second section I picked up, and then the third section I just did the regular pace, and that's how that worked out for me. But a game plan would have been more helpful. It would have been a lot less stressful because I almost fainted when I saw congratulations. So
that's awesome. Day seven does go over game day battle plan, and I believe it has all that in there. And the test is 240 minutes, so we technically have about maybe that minute and 30 seconds per question, give or take, depending on how long you sit. Right. That's some good call outs. The other thing is I feel, what you're saying about knowing where you're at in the project. That's why during our coaching calls, we're like, okay, where are we? Is this agile? Is this waterfall? Are you in planning? Are you in executing? Let's think about what comes and happens in those areas, right?
Right. And that's exactly the test. That's the whole test.
That's awesome.
Where are you right now? And where are you going? And awesome. If you can master that, then you're ready for the test, because that's all you're going to get.
I'm going to open it up to see if Tyra or Kahal has anything that they would like to ask you, since you just passed your exam today at 2:30.
Yep, 2:30.
I just want to say congrats. I was listening and taking notes on where I need to buff up at. So congrats again.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, congrats, William. I think I'm still a bit too early to have direct questions as to what I need to do, but yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a big relief. I'm so glad to, but I'm already looking at the next thing. So on to the next cert. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's great. Well, I'm super excited. Any last words, William, for anyone listening and they're on the fence about their PMP?
I think the biggest thing for me, I took this test, I started on May 4th. So, but I did this 10 to 14 hours a day. I did this like work. I like left a contract to do this, to get these certs. So for the next 2 months, it's CSM, PMP, LSSBB. It's certifications for me, building my career, like trying to branch out and get into project management permanently. So that's my process. So know when you're ready to take it and make yourself, like I gave myself. So around about, I think I signed up on the 14th. So I gave myself another 17 days to say, you got 17 days to really know it, to be comfortable with it. And so I took my last practice exam yesterday and I took a total test, did the whole 240 minutes, and I scored like an 84%. And I was like, okay, now I'm comfortable. I can go into it tomorrow and I'm totally fine. But like, don't sit and wait on it because you're going to lose some of that information. That was the biggest thing. I lost EVM like the day before the test. And I was like, now I got to go get the EVM chart out. And I should have been, keeping, focused on all that stuff. But yeah, that's all I have. It's a good journey. It was good.
Good. When you say know when you're ready, is that how you knew you were ready, by taking the 3 tests back to back, knowing you could make the timing and your score was a good score?
Absolutely. Like, to know I could, exactly what you said, get the timing right and get the questions right.
Yeah.
Because the questions are long, and one of the things I had to practice is filtering out, like making sure I'm retaining the whole, because what I would do is try to skim, and you can't really do that when you need that information in sentence 2. You can't skim it. You need everything. Yeah. And that's unfortunate, but that's a test. That's life with it. And so you got to pay attention when you're reading like that. And so but it was great. It was great. Like I wish everybody the best of luck. You can do it. Scott's program is awesome. Like I said, do flows. But
we'll do this. We'll make sure we get those 7 flows in. But you mentioned your EVM. Did you have any math questions?
I had one actual math question, but it didn't require a lot. And it didn't ask me for a lot. It just, I needed to read it. So it told me what my, so most of the EVM questions I probably got like 5, and they were all based like this. They told me what the SPI was. They told me what the CPI was. And then they said, okay, what do you need to do? So obviously if it's schedule, you're messing with compression. So you're either fast tracking or you're crashing. If your CPI is low though, you can't afford that. Well, you can't afford to crash because you can't afford the extra people. So as long as you think that way, those questions are easy, but think that way. Like, okay, I don't have enough. My budget's already bad. They just told me that in sentence 2. So budget's not the answer. Schedule's the answer. So how do I fix the schedule? And as long as you can keep up with that stuff, it makes it really easy.
Question for you. You said that you did like 10 to 15 hours a day. So did you like just rewatch videos? Did you read other material outside of Scott's? Like, how did you pull the 10 to 15 hours?
Okay, so I took PrepCast first. That's where I got the exams from. Because I did Scott's exams. You'd have to look at my track record though. If you really want to see what I was doing, I was taking practice tests. I took his practice exams probably 20 times. Like, there's a record. That's why Kelly told me I was ready last week. But yeah, I took them over and over again. That's how I am. I wanted to be perfect. And I got above target. That's great. I really wanted to be, I didn't want to miss a question. I wanted to be good. And so I watched the Agile video on YouTube from David, where he goes through every question. He does 200. David McCallum, he's amazing. He is so agile. This dude is perfect for you to learn agile, to at least see the structure of questions and get a different perspective. He's amazing for that. So I watched that. But most of it was the questions. I knew the questions were hard. I knew they were hard. So I needed all the time in the world to understand how to take a test that was so, I'm Army, I'm a vet. So it's so gray. There's a best answer. Army guys don't like best answers. You know?
Black or white.
Yeah, it's black or white. Like, give me science, give me math, give me, like, that's why EVM was so amazing for me, because I like math. So I didn't mind learning EVM, even though I didn't use it on the test. I mean, I know like 5 people have said that that's really true. I didn't use any math outside of just knowing what CPI and SPI were. But
that's awesome. So, and I think you're spending a lot of your time going through Scott's content, because that was a lot of material to get through as well. And then going through the courses that they're there and the
I went back to any video where I missed a bunch of stuff. So if I took Scott's exam and I missed a bunch in an area, I would go back and pinpoint that area. Like when he did his deep dives, I would go watch that. And you would get, because the funny thing about Scott's program, it's really thorough. It's really, really thorough. You wouldn't think that, but it's really thorough. And the stuff, the little ahas and here and there's, and this is always going to happen, and you should always do this. This stuff is true on this test. Like, a lot of that saved me, because I'm hearing Scott saying, no, you can't do that. This is why you can't do that. You know, because that's how he teaches. And so, like, the videos are really helpful, like really helpful for that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, William. We're really excited for you. Congratulations, and go enjoy, your next certification.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time. Good luck, guys.